Hello, everyone. I'm Sobia, and I'm going to take you through a journey which has defined a new path for me. So I had heard many stories from Adnan, my best friend and now my startup partner, of his trips to the high mountains. And I often asked him to take me on a road trip with him. But before this could materialize, the Fulbright opportunity came along, and I headed on to a different world, the Harvard Kennedy School. As I was orienting myself to the new environment, I learned of these student-led trips to various countries during the school breaks. I was very excited at the idea of leading such a trip to Pakistan. I soon realized that this was easier said than done, because everyone had a destination in their mind, but Pakistan did not feature in such conversations. As I engaged with the students, I realized that the narrative on popular media strongly deterred them from planning a trip to Pakistan, while there were also strong voices amongst the faculty which opinionated that Pakistan harbors the most dangerous terrorists in the world and probably not a place to travel. I knew I had to do something about this. So in October 2015, I called up Adnan and asked him, when are you taking me on the promised road trip? Now, I guess he didn't realize what was coming his way, because he thought, I'm gone for 2 years, so he can make a rash commitment. And he messaged me back saying, give me 6 weeks notice and I'll help you plan a trip. This is exactly what I needed, because I rang him up immediately and I said, how about March 2016, my spring break? I will come, but I will also bring my friends from HKS along with me. And this is how we basically initiated the Harvard Trek, just as a 2016 spring break plan. I guess we were too naive. We did not realize the commitment that we were taking upon ourselves. But I think what we also knew was that this was going to be more than just a road trip, because we wanted to showcase the multiple facets of Pakistan. I had taken upon the resolve to change the narrative of Pakistan by not just showcasing the natural beauty that the country holds, but also the warmth and hospitality of its people and the trials, tribulations, and the challenges of the nation. So the first priority in our minds was people-to-people interactions. And for this purpose, we developed the concept of host family and brought them to our home. We wanted them to meet our friends and family. What does adult life look like in Pakistan? Give them a sneak peek of basically the strong family bonds and values that we hold in our country. Of course, it provides a lot of support, and it brings a lot of responsibility with it. And here we are with one of our host family. We, of course, toured around. The Lahore city in itself holds a rich cultural heritage, and we experienced the cultural diversity in all its true colors, from the Badshahi Mosque to the Wazir Khan Mosque, went to Lok Virsai, and many other such beautiful sites. We also knew that a trip to Pakistan would probably be incomplete, particularly for students coming from a public policy school, if we did not engage in some serious conversations about the geopolitical narrative of the country. And for this purpose, we arranged meetings with senior policy makers, office bearers in the highest capacity, from the prime minister at the time to the chief minister, opposition leaders, and parliamentarians. It so happened that in 2016 and 17, with both the Harvard treks, we met Imran Khan, who was then the opposition leader. And when the 2018 election results came out, my WhatsApp started buzzing, because people were like, oh my God, where are the pictures from the trek? We've met your prime minister. But on a serious note, some of the most intense conversations have happened with ex-army personnel, people who have frontline participated in the war on terror from Pakistan's land. They were able to narrate what is Pakistan's perspective on the war on terror and the price that we have paid in this whole situation. Then I also thought about the gaps that I saw between the perception and the reality. So of course, we are a nation which has the second highest number of out-of-school children in the entire world. But we've also produced some very inspiring stories. Just look around yourself in this room. So there was a need to meet people who are engaged in social development work. So we met the likes of Bilqis Eidhi, one of the most humble people. We toured the old city of Karachi with Marvi Mazhar, an architect some of you may not know about her, but who's fighting hard to protect the heritage buildings in that part of Karachi. I think some of the most inspiring stories came out from the social development work and people and organizations who were engaged in the fields of education, poverty reduction, and protection of destitute people. Now, as we were going around doing this, what we wanted to focus on was that we just did not want to narrate the positives of Pakistan. We wanted to have an honest conversation about what the real challenges of the country are. So we showed them the good and the bad, the pretty and the ugly. So we went and had breakfast on the streets of Pakistan Chowk, and from there on took them straight to the upscale, artistically done home of Sharmila Chinoy, 2-time Oscar winner. It's a huge contrast to see, but that is all Pakistan is about. It's not a country that can be painted with one stroke of brush, because we are a diverse nation. So in a typical 7 to 8 days journey, which we've so far done in spring breaks, it's been intense, fast-moving, and I would say once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, because we've gone from the mountains in the north to the sea in the Karachi, and visited a few cities and villages. So what do we want to really achieve by all of this? Like I said earlier, this was just a 2016 spring break plan. But the more and more we've gone into this, we've become weaved into a dream that has really become huge. In 2016, when I initiated this, there were hardly 9 students, including myself, who participated in the trek. But the impact was so huge that the second year, when I wanted to go on a trip to another country myself, my friends insisted that I plan a trip for them. And almost 100 students applied. We could only bring 22, and don't ask me why. A coaster just accommodates 22 people, so that's the group size we could manage. In 2018, which is this year, we've so far hosted 3 groups and 75 students from Harvard University, Cornell University, and London Business School. And what is happening? We're already seeing the narrative changing. There was a girl in the 2018 Harvard Trek who bought a wedding dress for her upcoming wedding from here in Pakistan. Now she's never going to forget the country. There was a friend of mine on this trip who said his fiancé was very much against his idea of coming to Pakistan, and he said that I'm going to bring her to our honeymoon over here in Pakistan, in Hunza. And there's so many others who've already been back. What we wanted to achieve by this is that we're inviting students from the world's top universities, people who are likely to go on to assume positions of authority and significant influence in their professional careers. So when they sit at a decision table, they will be more informed about Pakistan. They will know what the country really looks like, unlike a lot of policymakers who take decisions from outside and do not have a deeper understanding of what our country is about. Like Samantha, who was a 2017 Trek participant and a very close friend, said, as future global leaders, it is very important for us to explore the world and to develop perspectives that are beyond the headlines. That is exactly what we want to achieve. And of course, we want to show them our homeland. So Emily, also a 2017 Trek participant and a very, very dear friend, if I quote her, she said she had never been to this region of the world, but Pakistan Trek gave her a lifetime opportunity to develop a deeper appreciation of the culture, history, and beauty of Pakistan. It's one thing, she says, to come on a well-organized trip, but it's another thing entirely to be brought to see someone's homeland through their own eyes. At the Harvard Kennedy School graduation ceremony, I had the opportunity to host the ceremony with another Trek participant, Nelson. And I was very proud when he spoke about his spring break experience in Pakistan, and he very candidly expressed his feelings, saying that as he was coming on this trip, he was stepping out of his comfort zone. He was coming to a place that was very far from home, which he knew nothing about. But in doing so, he discovered a land which totally engulfed him, which felt like home through its warmth and hospitality for the strangers and for just people's openness to inviting them to their homes. If you've not followed me through, I'll show you a brief video of what this is about. And this is only the beginning. I hope many of you can join me in this journey to change Pakistan's narrative.